So we're here on the track in the 2023 Nissan Z, and this has always been a car that has been a lot of fun to drive on tracks throughout its history. It's had a bunch of wins in the 70s. There was a great East Africa Rally win in the very early 70s, and Paul Newman drove it to great success in the late 70s. And ever since, it has always had this reputation as a really capable track car. We're gonna see how this new one stacks up. Sounds good. All right, let's go. So we've got a 400 horsepower twin turbo V6 under the hood, and that is plenty of power for a vehicle like this. You can definitely feel it when you put your foot down. This is a car that wants to go fast. Because this is a front mid-engine car where the engine sits behind the front axle, on a racetrack you can really get a good feel for the handling and just how responsive it is in corners. The steering is direct, and you can really feel the front end biting into the turns when you take them at speed. So it's available in a manual transmission and an automatic. The manual is a 6-speed, the auto is a 9-speed. This one has the 9-speed auto, and with that you get these cool paddle shifters that are actually borrowed from the GTR, as is the sports steering wheel. And normally I find paddle shifters, they tend to not be super useful on a lot of the vehicles you find them in. But in a car like this, especially in a setting like this on a racetrack, you can really have a lot of fun with them. And then when you get tired of doing that, you just flip it back into automatic and it does everything for you. And it's still a lot of fun to drive. And we haven't even tried out sport mode yet. So we've been driving this whole time in standard, and that's been a lot of fun. But we're gonna click it into sport mode and see how that changes things. All right, so let's get this here. Now we're in sport. All right. Oof. Yeah, those gear changes get a bit faster. The throttle is a little more dialed in, and it's also gonna hold the gears a bit farther into the revs, altogether giving you a little bit more of a racetrack experience. And it just sounds so nice. In those high revs, the engine really makes a great noise. I guess that would be in keeping with the spirit of the car. This has always been a rear-wheel drive vehicle, and it wouldn't be going too far to say this one, even though it is a twin turbo, it has that very direct feel of a naturally aspirated engine. And obviously in the straights, it just goes. And it sounds amazing doing it. This is a car that just wants to go. Now this is the performance model that we're driving, so it does have upgraded Nissan performance brakes, which I think are helpful in a situation like this, because coming out of those straights, when you're really putting all those 400 horsepower down, you really need that stopping power. And coming into these hairpin turns, you really need that extra responsiveness. And these brakes just feel so precise. Really lets you have a little more fun with it. The performance spec version that we're driving comes with these great racing seats. Definitely a consistent element on Z cars through the ages. They used to come with Recaros, and these seats are exactly that same style. They really hold you in place when you're accelerating. They've even got a little bump in the front to keep you from sliding forward under hard braking. The driving position is nice and low to the ground, good visibility. It's got quite a narrow windshield, but you can see everything you need to. There's no real big blind spots. So the Z has always been a daily driver. This is a car designed to get you from A to B and have a little fun along the way. But if you are fortunate enough to have access to a racetrack, It can also be a lot of fun to take through the turns and really let that 400 horsepower twin turbo stretch its legs. And you don't even need a racetrack to see a little bit more of what this car can do. If you ever find yourself on a windy country road or on a long road trip, you can have a lot of fun putting this car through its paces, even without breaking the speed limit. If you like this video, check out our other videos for a deep dive into the history of the Z car, as well as interior and exterior details from the new 2023 Nissan Z.